Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Actually, this is Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel where we discuss pro wrestling of a wide variety. This is the Dynamite review for the 12th of May 2022. Not a bad show by any stretch of the imagination. Too much stuff on the show, but I say that on a regular basis, so I'm not uncomfortable with saying that again. Too much stuff on the show for sure, but um, that is the paradigm, I suppose, of having a booker who has less than 3 years of less than 4 years of experience in the business with top level talent. Anyhow, so this is the, as mentioned, Dynamite show, and the show opens with the Owen Hart quarterfinal. Adam Cole defeating Dax Harwood. Beautiful opener. Both men have amazing TV match. They're around 15 minutes in nature, and early on in the match, Cole gets Dax gets in his face, and then they exchange strikes, including a knee lift, chance for both men, and then several near falls by both guys. Cole dives into his opponent ring first, drives him into the ring post in the process. Back from commercial, Dax tries a bunch of and hits a bunch of German suplexes. Cole comes back with one of his own. Dax then fights back for a third. Cole then fires back with the Yoshinagi for near fall. Dax hits a crossbody for two of his own, and then cuts him off midair with a super kick for two. Dax then cradled Cole for a good near fall. Cole then goes for the Panama Sunrise. Dax then stops Cole in his tracks and hits a piledriver for another near fall. Dax locks on the sharpshooter for a great ovation and tries to get a submission, but injured rib forces him to break the hold and recovers on the floor. Barely makes it back into the ring before the 10 count. Cole locks on the sharpshooter and forces his opponent to tap. He advances to, I believe, the semifinals. Cole faces the winner of Darby Allin and Jeff Hardy in the semifinals. Video package hyping that Hardy and Darby match. CM Punk defeats John Silver. Punk is trying to stop Silver from building momentum. Hits a lariat leading into the commercial. Silver sends Punk into the corner. I'm not necessarily sure I agree with Silver being a guy who is over as a babyface going against Punk. Stumbles, walking the ropes, reverses into a tornado DDT for 2 count. Punk then stops Silver. Flurry with a high kick and gets short on clothesline. Punk follows up with a wacky looking buckshot lariat. Gets the win, and after the match, Page storms into the ring and gets in Punk's face. Punk asked if Pope is really mad and said that he's taking it a little too personal. He said or Punk asked Page, I said Pope by mistake. He says he's taking Page's title as just business. Punk used to ask himself, are you a good guy? Today he asked himself, are you the champ? The answer is yes. Punk said he'd do to Page what he just did to Silver, and he'd shake his hand no matter what. Page then flips him off in response. Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Rebel are backstage. Baker complains about having to wrestle the Joker, but says Hayter would beat Dory Storm. She said that if they both win, they'd face each other, and it would be a fair fight. Obviously, that's the angle they're going towards. Tony Nese with Mark Sterling defeats Danhausen. I don't think Danhausen losing in his first match is a good idea, especially to a guy as kind of flat as Tony Nese, to be honest. Danhausen tries to curse Nese, but distraction from Sterling allows Nese to attack and basically uses a squash running corner knee for a win in about 20 seconds. Why build Danhausen up if you're just gonna squash it? Anyway, after the match, Sterling goes to Nese with the fact that he didn't get an entrance, and Nese attacks Danhausen with repeated knees. Hook's music plays, and out he comes, sending Nice and Sterling retreating out of their Danhausen offers a handshake to Hook, and he accepted. So we have Hookhausen eventually going to be a thing, which I enjoy. Anyway, MJF with Wardlow contract signing. Beautiful segment. Wardlow comes out handcuffed and surrounded by security as usual. They completely parody the Dark Side of the Ring video talking about MJF versus Punk and how Wardlow interfered. They even get Taz, Jake Roberts, and Barry Horowitz, of all people, to speak about this. Anyway, hometown MJF gets a babyface reaction. He plays it up, and they even booed Wardlow. MJF compares himself to David and Wardlow to Goliath. Jewish from the Holy Land, and he's not talking about Israel. I'm talking about the most magical place on the world, Long Island. MJF offers his conditions to the match. He said if Wardlow wants to face him at Double or Nothing, he'll have to get whipped 10 times, and I've got to get whipped if I don't answer that phone. We'll be back with more right after this. And again, as we continue, the wonder that is Dynamite is, at the same time, Dynamite is also a show that has its challenges in so much that, kind of knowing where you're going to go with the Dynamite product can sometimes be a little difficult, and they do try to fit way too much into the Dynamite product as a whole upon occasion a lot of the time. And again, it's more, are they ready to deal with having a bloated roster and the challenges that come with a completely 100% loaded roster? Um, anyway, so the Wardlow contract signing, MJF is ahead in his hometown. MJF offers the conditions. He basically says he'll get whipped 10 times. Then they have to wrestle Shawn Spears in a steel cage with MJF as a special guest referee. And if Wardlow loses at Double or Nothing, he'll never be allowed to sign a contract with AEW. Wardlow struggles to sign a contract because he's handcuffs. MJF gets impatient and has them uncuff Wardlow, and he signs Wardlow, then attacks all the security guards and sends them away, leaving MJF and Spears in the ring. Wardlow stops Spears from hitting a chair shot and then caught MJF in the escape, but Mark Sterling jumps on his back, allowing MJF to run away. Wardlow then powerbombed Sterling through the table. This is a really good segment. Samoa Joe facing a mystery Joker. Sanjay Dutt and company said Lethal and Singh weren't the Joker, but they mocked Joe anyway. Taz joins commentary for the FTW Championship. Ricky Starks with Powerhouse Hobbs defeating Jungle Boy. Not exactly a fan of this just because it doesn't fit with where they're going. Performing back and forth, chain wrestling early. Starks hits Jungle Boy with a slingshot arm drag, and then Jungle Boy returns the fire with the same and gets a couple of added jumps back in. Starks then takes control during commercial. Jungle Boy comes back. Starks then continues on the outside DDT and powers Jungle Boy up, but Jungle Boy eventually reverses it into a DDT for near fall. Starks then backslides Jungle Boy for a 2 count, but Jungle Boy counters into the Rochambeau cradle. Jungle Boy hits a thrust kick for near fall of his own. Then we go Jungle Boy going for another rebound lariat, but runs into the spear for 2 count. And he locks on the snare trap and then forces Starks to fight, relaunching, running the ropes. Rochambeau gets hit for the win after the officials distracted. After the match, Christian Cage and Luchasaurus walk down, talk things out with Jungle Boy. Swerve faces off with Starks and Hobbs. Then Keith Lee makes his entrance, and things are tense for everybody. Then the Jericho Appreciation Society happiness speech, junk, garbage. Anyhow, Angelo Parker welcomes everyone to the speech, and then Matt Menard, uh, that he's proud to be a part of the Jericho Appreciation Society. Jericho notes that he's technically from the area, but he moved away. Jericho calls himself he threatens a fireball because he's the wizard. He then addresses Eddie Kingston, bringing up his wife. Daniel Garcia said sports entertainment beats wrestling every time. John Moxley's music plays, and then he walks out to the ring for the crowd. Jericho tells him to get out of here, pointing out the numbers advantage, but Bryan Danielson's music plays, and Wheeler Yuta comes out, making it an even fight. The babyfaces surround the ring and attack Jericho's appreciation. Regal takes out Jericho with a strong right hand. Fine segment, probably the best thing Jericho's been involved in months, but at the same time, other than the pay-per-view Eddie Kingston match, which was a good match, I just, week to week, I don't enjoy Jericho stuff, but he can pull out good matches when it matters. Serena Deeb video package airs with Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Dustin Rhodes hyping her up. They all discussed how dangerous she is coming into the championship match with Thunder Rosa. Owen Hart quarterfinal. Tony Storm defeats Jamie Hayter. Neither woman really establishes a clear advantage at the start. Dropkick sends Hayter to the floor, but Hayter boots Storm upon re-entry to the ring, maintaining the advantage through the commercial break. Back from the break, Storm fires up and hits a hard forearm, lands strong attack following a DDT. She then hits a DDT out on the floor. Storm lands a diving crossbody for a 2 count. Hayter then returns fire with a backbreaker for a 2 count of their own. Fights out on the apron. Then they fight back top rope. Hayter then hits a superplex. Storm continues to follow up, cradle for the 2, and hits Storm 0 for the win. Rampage lineup for the 13th. Owen Hart Cup, Riho, and Ruby Soho. What a waste of Ruby Soho. Jade Cargill and the Baddies will speak. TNT Championship, Scorpio Sky, Frankie Kazarian. Death Triangle versus the Butcher's Blade and Mark Quinn. Who cares about Death Triangle or the other goofs? And Sean Spears against Bear Boulder. A squash match to be had by all. Anyway, then we go to AEW Dynamite for the 18th. Jericho and William Regal face-to-face. Owen Hart Cup, O'Reilly and Ray Phoenix. Owen Hart Cup, Britt Baker and the Joker. Owen Hart Cup, Samoa Joe and the Joker. Hangman Page and Takeshita. Why are we doing this other than just to make it look like these international people matter? Wardlow's lashings from MJF, Owen Hart Cup, Adam Cole, and winner of Allen versus Hardy. Double or Nothing lineup for 529. Hangman Page versus CM Punk. And then Women's Championship, Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb. Buy-in, Hook and Danhausen versus Tony Nese and Mark Sterling. Video package, Scorpio Sky versus Frankie Kazarian aired. Sky said he wasn't trying to restore respect. He is trying to restore respect to the TNT title. Kazarian then asked about wrestling his former tag partner, Sammy Guevara, and Ty Conti interrupted with Guevara saying Sky's a different man now and that he can't be trusted. Kazarian blights him off and he says he trusts him. Owen Hart Cup quarterfinal, Jeff Hardy with Matt Hardy defeats Darby Allin. I am so not a fan of this. Darby Allin, of course, out with Sting. So not a fan of this. Darby Allin should have won the tournament. And anyway, announced as a stunt show and a no disqualification match. So anyway, Darby explodes right away. Shotgun dropkick and a tope. Puts a bunch of chairs on the outside. Jeff sends him face first into steel steps. Jeff lands leaping clothesline off the steps. Darby drives Hardy into the ring post. Jeff hits Twist of Fate over the ropes and produces a tall ladder from under the ring. During the break, Jeff climbs up the ladder with Darby incapacitated on the chair. Darby then pops up and basically catches Jeff over the ropes. Darby climbs the ladder and lands in the most ridiculous dive you'll ever see into Jeff and the chair structure. 20-foot tall ladder. Anyway, back in the ring, Darby goes for the coffin drop. Jeff moves out towards the apron. Darby lands on the apron. Jeff manages to move out of the way. Jeff then goes for Swanton Bomb. Onto the steel steps. Darby avoids that, sending Jeff bouncing off of the steel steps. Ouch. Why? Free TV. Why? Anyway, Darby recovers in the ring and hits the coffin drop. Jeff cradles Darby for the win. Jeff will face Adam Cole in the semifinals next week. Cole and Undisputed Elite showed up on the ramp before the end of the show. Overall, not a bad show, but at the same time, overstated for sure. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.